7 and 9, what should we change it to 50? That was one for you, no stealing the money today, alright, one for you, no stealing, alright? Alright, best behaviour guys. Alright, hey, sorry guys, I do apologise.
Not kidding, I'd read fanfic before the episode had aired.
Wow.
What can I say, how can I sell this to a large group of people? It's very difficult because we all watch TV shows for very different reasons, we all get different things out of them, we all have a different kind of engagement with TV programmes. For me, I watched Sleepy Hollow because there was a Bible in the trailer. That sounds really weird and totally strange, but I'm a biblical scholar and I enjoy TV that has the Bible in it. So I was hooked because, oh my word, there's Revelation, this is really exciting. Oh, and wow, that guy's really hot, and oh, that's really funny. So there were all kinds of things that were in it that made me engage with it on an instant level, and it was totally instant. But then I watched the show, and then I did join the fandom, and I did get engaged with other people, and every episode builds on every other episode, and other things came along that made me engage with it. And those things might appeal to you. So a really good example, for example, is the plotting. Now, I have to say, the plotting of each episode is a little strange. It's not necessarily the most coherent or logical, and you do kind of have to have a rather... you have to go with the artistic license, because it's a bit like Show 24. They fit an awful lot into a very short space of time, despite what they're claiming to do. And the leaps of logic that they make are really ludicrous. But the plotting between episodes is phenomenal. And you never truly see how good this comes out until you see the last episode in the finale. And I'm not going to spoil anything at all, but they had plotted it completely from the very beginning. And only when you get to the finale do you go, oh my word, how did they manage to do that? How did they manage to tie all those threads in? How did they know this character was going to do that? How did they build that through? And what they've managed to do, the showrunners had effectively managed to got together, which is something that many shows don't do. Supernatural does it very badly, and many other shows do it terribly. But they built it together into a coherent whole, so that at the end of the series you're able to go back to the beginning and go, yep, that worked. That's a really clever idea. That's brilliantly.
The Continuum, and Series 3 has aired in Sci-Fi in the US, and I believe will be airing in Sci-Fi in the UK shortly, and we'll be finding out at the end of this month whether there will be a series after this. So I don't know what's going to happen afterwards. So I asked the Canadian question because that's just quite important. I think it's quite interesting from a maturity perspective. This is a Canadian show made in Canada, and it shows. Now, we've all watched science fiction shows over the years of the last, 25 years, where we know that production has been outsourced to probably Vancouver. And Vancouver has been Los Angeles and San Francisco and London and Paris and just about any Western country you can imagine, because it was cheaper, because the Canadian government made it advantageous to film in Canada, and Vancouver did very well out of that. But I'll come back to Canada in a minute. So let's try a little experiment and do it the Netflix way. If you like your future filled with over-powerful corporations who twist society and will lean on the police force and lean on the military to do things that we wouldn't expect in our time, Continuum has that. So that's something you like from something like Blade Runner or some other show where there's very, very powerful entities who who have a natural level of control, then you will see that.
But it's not, because I don't watch American cop dramas, I don't like them. In fact, I haven't seen that trailer before because I did my usual thing of, I found a couple of episodes because I was randomly looking through the channels to see what I could watch. Started in the middle and then went back to the beginning, because that's the best way to do everything, obviously. When I first heard about this, I was very, very apprehensive, mostly because it's an American version of a very British institution. And I have absolutely nothing against Americans, but there are several television and story arcs and things like that that have been very Americanised, and I really, really, really don't like them. And this hasn't been done with Elementary. Sorry, I haven't had enough water this morning, so if my voice disappears, please forgive me. This hasn't been done with Elementary. They've taken a very British institution, retained all of the good parts, and set it in America, which probably means it has one of the widest audiences you could possibly imagine for a TV show. And the British accents are very good. There's no bad British accents, which is another problem I have with television programmes, because you look at them and you're like, what are you saying? I can't understand you. So I was saying that this is more like a cop drama, except Sherlock Holmes is not a policeman. Sorry, I keep saying policeman, it's more instinctive than saying cop. He is a detective who takes cases because, as they said in the trailer, he's bored and they're interesting. And that's a fantastic premise. Because he takes the most insane cases. But it's done in a way that you can believe these things happened. And amazingly, it's also done in a way that doesn't make the policeman he's working with look like
insects all over the place around Austin.
Well,
It's 100.
I think you just have to be aware of what a company wants from you. And I think it's really important to just be aware of that. And when you're putting things out on the internet, it's going out there for everyone to see all the time. And it's going out there for everyone to reuse, regardless of how many times you put on a note saying, this is my own property, this is my copyright, or whatever. People are still going to walk away with it. So if you stick a picture up on the internet, it's entirely possible someone's going to use it.
Okay, so that's a good point to start to take questions. Go ahead and finish the slide. Well, just at the moment, from what I've seen from, and I've read some of the terms of service. I haven't read it all. I've read a number of sources I would trust who've read it through. At the moment, it's fairly standard, not massively evil terms of service, which is pretty good going for this sort of thing. Okay, so in the very back, you have a question.
That was sort of my question. Is I'm a visual artist, and I feel very leery about putting sort of copyrighted work on Facebook because of their terms of service. And I just wondered if Tumblr's terms of service were a little bit less onerous.
I know a lot of artists who are very concerned about that, who do use Tumblr to post art onto it. I mean, obviously, every
to be more people who are very passionate and argumentative on Tumblr than you have seen in other social media sources. Is that correct? Reasonable?
Yeah, about the same things generally. I like people who are passionate about Tumblr and don't see on Facebook and Twitter.
Okay, go ahead.
I think if you're not seeing a lot of people getting really hot under the collar about social justice on Twitter, it's because you're not following the right people. I mean, the other thing is, of course, Tumblr, you can say a lot more